I want to welcome you all by the lesson 9. This lesson is going about limiting thoughts. This is part 122. I am Damien and I'm going to go with you to the parts of this lesson. We have now arrived at the planning and the goals. The planning for this lesson. Reading, planning and the goals. Introduction. Instruction. Assignment. Ending. And what we are going to do next lesson. The goals are: you know what limiting thoughts are. You realize that limiting thoughts are only thoughts and not real. And you have gotten tips about how you can deal with limiting thoughts. We're now going to the introduction. We have now arrived at the introduction. This introduction is a Greek myth about in the Greek mythology about the boat of Theseus. The boat of Theseus, the myth is the question that always gets asked is because when there was a plank rotten, uh, a wooden board rotten on the ship, it will get renewed, and so on. Eventually, the whole ship, the whole boat was renewed. So the question that the Greeks asked is it the same ship? No boat. Is it the same boat now? Or is it a whole new boat? And you can use this in the mythology of this lesson. No, not the mythology of this lesson, but you can use this lesson. So, good morning. Each part is renewed, but the boat stays the same. It's still the same boat with new things, but it is the same boat. It's still the boat of Theseus. And you can use that because when you have a uncertainty in yourself about, and for an example, your teeth, no, or that you might, or that you might not, or that you're not wanted by your friends, then you can change, maybe throw a rock to a window because that is what your friends like. But that changes nothing about you. You have gotten more tougher, but you stay the same. So if there are people who you think don't want you, not change them, but stay the same. That is what this introduction is about. We're now going to the instruction. We have now arrived at the instruction. In this instruction, you need to take notes. This whole thing here is a note that you need to write. Like from this line all the way to this line. Here are some examples, and what above is standing I'm going to explain now. The note that you need to write. A limiting thought is a thought that mainly makes you feel insecure, such as, I'm ugly. This is only a thought, because most of the times you are not ugly. Very often you start thinking this way about yourself because someone in your life, like a classmate or a teacher, thinks this about you and has said it to you. The fact that someone believes this about you does not mean it's true. I find some people also ugly, but are they ugly? No. That is what they mean. What matters is knowing that every thought can be reshaped into a positive one. Here are some examples. Like, I'm not good enough. Look, only one person has said it to me. There are also people who find me good enough. Or, I'm ugly. Who says I'm ugly? Why does a person get to decide that? Look, why why should Peter from your class have the right to decide that you're ugly? Or I can't do anything. Look, well, I can breathe. So that's clearly not true, right? You can't do a thing, you can breathe. So that is what they mean. Place the question to write this whole down. That is much, but that's useful for when you're looking back into your notes. When you're looking back into your notes. If you have done that, we're going to the assignments. If you have not done that, please set the video on pause so you can do this in all your own time. We have now arrived at the assignment. We have two assignments. The first assignment has 3 steps. The first step is step 1. Write down 3 negative thoughts you had about yourself last week, such as, oh my gosh, I am so dumb. I have broken that face. I didn't need to do that. That is one thought you could have. The second step is you write down why you think that. Why do you think you were dumb to break that face? Maybe it was just unfortunate. And and you have and you can make all the time if you want to write this in all your time, because you can put the video on pause because I'm going to step 3. Write down how you can turn those negative thoughts into positive ones, like what I did with phase 1. Oh, I broke that face. But yeah, it was unfortunate. I didn't see that face. And it was on a weird place. So 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 that's what you're going to do by this assignment. If you are done, set the video on pause because we're going to the second assignment. Case study. Your little sister, who is in 2nd grade, is told by her friends that she is not allowed to play with them. Now she thinks she's stupid and she's crying in her room. What you're going to do is write at least 5 sentences explaining how you can comfort her, comfort her with the information you now have. So she knows she isn't stupid and her friends are simply being mean. If you haven't done that, please set the video on pause because we're going to the ending and what we're going to do next lesson. We have now arrived at the ending and what we are going to do next lesson. You now know what limiting thoughts are. You have realized that limiting thoughts are only thoughts. And you have gotten tips about how you can deal with limiting thoughts. What I want you to do, as last, as we always do all the lessons, explain to me what limiting thoughts are. You now know it because you have gotten the lesson. Explain what I mean with that limiting thoughts are only thoughts. And at last, please explain to me what tips I had gotten to you with how you can deal with limiting thoughts. I think you haven't done that, so please set the video on pause. Next lesson, are we going to talk about the fixed versus growth mindset. If you found this video fun to watch, please select the like button. Please subscribe to the channel, and then I will see you next week, Monday, by the Monday Advice Day 4. Have a nice day.